Howdy all, lovely to see you all again. Welcome to episode 200 of Learn That Solo. Redonkulous milestone for me. Today we're going to be looking at the Iron Maiden classic and epic Powerslave. Let's take a look. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I want to slide from 9 to 11 on the 3rd string. Then when I get there, I'm going to do a hammer-on into a pull-off going 9, 11, 9. And then on the same string, I'm going to slide from 7 to 6 and then a pull-off from 7 to 6. And that's going to sound like this. So all together. And from there, I'm going to go... So what I'm doing here is a hammer-on into a pull-off going 6, 7, 6 on the 3rd, and then I slide from 4 to 2, and then 2 to 4. So all together. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then I want to work into this section where I do a hammer-on from 6 to 7 on the 3rd string, and then slide to 7, 9. Then from that point, I work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is I'm bending 9 up, pulling off to the 7. Then from that point, I'm going to do a hammer-on into a pull-off into a slide, playing 6, 7, 6, and then sliding to 4. After that, I'm going to work into this little pentatonic run based around B minor. Let's get that and then we'll put everything together. I want to slide from 7 to 9 on the 5th rather. Then I'm going to play 7, 9 on the 4th. And then what I do here is I'll play 7 of the 3rd string, bend 9, and then play 7 again. Okay, so that's the first half of the first section. Let's put it together relatively slowly, and then we'll do the second half. Okay, let's have a look at the second half now. I want to slide from 10 to 12 on the 2nd string. Then I'm going to do a hammer-on into a pull-off going 10, 12, 10. And then I'm going to do another hammer-on into a pull-off from 7, 10, 7. Also on the 2nd string. Okay? Then I want to jump to 9 of the 3rd string just as a single note. And then I've got another hammer-on pull-off going 7, 9, 7. So we've got... Okay, at the end of that, I want to slide to 6, and then that also slides to 4. It's a pretty epic lick there. Once I've got to 4, I'm going to hit 6 and pull off to 4, and then we've got another sort of pentatonic-y run. So let's try all of this chunk thus far. Okay, to finish that off, I work into this lick. Sorry. So, one thing that I kept making mistakes on when I was learning this part was rushing that 7 to 9 slide. It's got to be a slow, slur, difficult word to say. Anyway, I'm going from 7 to 9 on the 5th, then playing 7, 9 again on the 4th string, pluck, pluck. And then from there, I'm doing a slide from 9 to 11 on the 3rd, barely acknowledging that 9. And then I'm going to play 10, 12 on the 2nd and end on 9 of the 1st string. And that's going to lead us into the second section. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense. I'm going to do the second half of this section, and then we'll put the whole thing together a little bit slower, and then do it again even slower with some taps. So, for the second half. Alright, let's try the whole thing from the start now relatively slowly, and then again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright, let's have a look at the second section. I want to start from 10 of the 1st string, and then I'm going to hammer 9, 10, and then pull off back to 10. And that's going to make quite a few appearances in this section. So I want to start off with that little phrase. I'm going to play 12, 10, 12 on the 2nd string. And then I'm going to play 9, 10, 12 as single notes on the 1st string. And then I'm going to borrow that first little phrase again. So all together. At the end of that, I've got a little arpeggio. After I've done that hammer-on pull-off idea, I'm going to play 10 of the 2nd string and 9 of the 3rd. So all together, I work into this phrase then, straight after that. So I've got to bend up and back from 9 of the 3rd string. Then I'm doing a hammer-on from 7 back to 9, and then pulling off back to 7. I slide to 6 and then do a hammer-on pull off from 6, 7, 6. And then I slide to 4. So all together, that's all happening after the bend in one pick. Okay, then after that I work into this phrase. So kind of around that pentatonic again. The phrasing on this is a little bit strange. I've got a slide from 7 to 9 on the 5th. And then I'm plucking 7, 9 on the 4th. And I've got a triplet here. So I'm hammering 7 to 9 on the 3rd, and then the triplet end of that was a slide to 11. Then at the end of that, I'm going to play 10, 12 on the 2nd string. So that's the first half of this section. Let's put it together slowly, and then we'll do the second half. Okay, let's slow this down now. So what I've got here, I'm doing that same little lick again from the start, and then we're going 12, 10 on the 2nd string. Then I've got 2 bends on 12 of the 1st string. At the end of the second one though, I pull it down and then pull off to 10. So from the start of the second half, at the end of that, I'm doing a hammer on from 9 to 10, 9 again on the 1st string, and resolving that to 12. So we've got, the last chunk of that is this. Let's learn that, and then we'll put it all together and then do it again slowly with some tabs. So what I've got here is a hammer on from 9 to 11 on the 3rd, and then 10 to 12 on the 2nd. Okay, at the end of that, I want to play 9, 10, 12, and then back to 10 again. So I'm plucking all these notes. And at the end of that, our little trill idea again, and then jumping to 12 of the second. Okay, let's try and do the whole thing from the start of the section, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the third section. I want to start from 10 of this first string again, and we're going to do this little phrase. So I'm going to play 10 and then hammer 9, 10, 9 again. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play 12, 10, 12 on the second string. And then I'm going to just work my way up the scale diatonically by playing 9, 10, 12 on the first string and then jumping 14, 15, 17. So all together. At the end of that, so I've got 3 big bends from 17 to the first string. Then what I'm going to do there is play 17, 15, and then do a hammer-on into a pull-off going 14, 15, 14 on the first string. Okay, then I'm going to jump to 17 to the second string, and then it goes. Let's slow that down. I'm playing 14, 15, 17, 15 again on the first string. And at the end of that, hammer on into a pull-off, 14, 15, 14 again, and then jumping to 17 to the second, so to go. Alright, let's have a look at it from the start of the section. Hopefully that's all making sense. Now the next thing I'm going into a little bit of a slow, not as fast and trilly as we had before. So I'm still doing 14, 15, 14, but a little bit slower on the first string as a hammer-on. And then I'm going to play 17, 15 on the second string, and then do another hammer-on from 14, 15, 14, but this is from the second string. And once again, we're going with a sort of slower feel on that. Okay, from there I want to play 16, 14 on the third. And then I want to play 16, 15, 14 on the fourth string, which is going to get a bit more of that bluesy sound. Yep. Then from there I go into 12 of the fourth string. And then I'm going to do 2 pull-offs from 14 to 12. And then resolve that on 14 of the fifth string. Sort of go. Alright, let's have a look at what we've got thus far before we add the last chunk. Hopefully that's all making sense. This last chunk before it starts to rock out kind of goes back to a more comfortable B minor pentatonic area. I've got a slight bend and then I'm sort of just sweeping through this shape. I'm playing 9 of the third string and then a flat pointer covering the first and second string from 7th fret. And then I want to play 10 of the second string. Then I go. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing twice, but the second time I go through it, I'm not sweeping, I'm actually going to play the notes separately. So we're going to have a bend and then the flat finger sweep, then play 10 of the second string, and then I'm going to repeat those 3 notes, but played a lot slower. After that, I've got to pull off from 10 to 7 on the second string, then I want to play 9 of the third, and then back to 7 of the second string, so it goes. At the end of that, I'm going to do a bend on 9 of the third string, play 7 of the third, and then jump to 9 of the fourth. So altogether that last chunk. Let's try all of that pentatonic from the sweep and then the slow part. Alright, that's the whole thing. Let's try and do all of section 3 relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the start of the fourth section where things start to rock out. I want to play 7 of the first string with a bend from 10 of the second string. So we're going to bend those together, a dual bend. And we'll do that idea twice. Then I work into this phrase. It's nearly the same thing twice. I'm bending 9 up and back on the third string, pulling off to 7. And then just hitting a quick 9 on the third string. And then I do that again, but the second time I do it, I'll just vibrato and hold the 9th fret that I return to, so it'll go pretty much the same thing. So from the start, okay, then we work into this phrase. So what I've got here is a bend on 7 of the third string, then I bring it down, and then I'm going to go 7, 6. Then from that point, I'm building up an arpeggio by playing 7 of the 4th and 7 of the 5th. So let's have a look at what we've got thus far from the start. Okay, to lead into the next chunk, I've got a bend from 9 of the third string, then I play 7 of the second, and then 9 of the third. So that's that kind of lead in. And the next bar is going to start with this. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a pull off from 12 to 7 on the second string, and then a pull off from 10 to 7. So we've got, probably make more sense to bend with the middle and then get the pinky and the ring involved. After that I work into this phrase, which is kind of like what we had before. We're bending into a little sweep, playing 9 of the third as a bend, a flat pointer covering the second and the first string, and then I was doing a pull off from 10 to 7. And we want to do that idea actually exactly the same 4 times in a row. So, let's go from the lead in, the stretchy pinky stuff, and then that same little swept idea 4 times. Okay, then what I do at the end of that is pretty much exactly what we had as the leading point before. I'm going to do the bend from 9, 7 of the second, and the bend from 9 again. Okay, let's try it one more time from that lead in, the quick pinky stretch, and then the swept idea, and then the next leading point that'll get us to the last chunk of this section. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I do here is kind of a reversal of what we had before. I'm going to start with the pull off from 10 to 7, then do the bend into the flat pointer thing, sort of go. At the end of that, what I've got here is a bend on 10 of the second string, and then my pinky is jumping underneath to 10 of the first. At the end of that, I've got a slight bend on 10 of the second string, and then just some vibrato. So it'll go. That's the end of that chunk. So, that's pretty much the whole section. Let's do it relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the 5th section now. I want to start from 2nd fret of the first string. I'm going to hammer 2, 3, 2 into the pull off, and then I'm going to jump to 3 of the second string, and I'm going to kind of work down sort of a mini arpeggio here. I'm going to play 2 of the first string, 3 of the second, and then 4 of the third string, so kind of a B minor shape. You can add a slight sweep to that, and at the end of that, I'm pulling off from the B to that weird A sharp B flat note. So I'm going to go. That whole lick is exactly the same thing 3 times. After I've done that 3 times, I work into this idea. It's exactly the same thing twice. So I'm going 2, 3, 2 as a hammer-on into a pull-off on the first string, jumping to 5 of the second, and as I said, it's that same idea twice. All together. Okay, then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is another sort of hammer-on into a pull-off from the pointer to the middle of the pinky. So this is very similar to what we had over on 2 and 3, but now I'm over on 7 and 8. So I'm going to do a hammer-on 7, 8, 7, then jump to 10 of the second string, and then back down to 7 of the first. From that point, I work into this, which is exactly the same 3 notes twice, going 10, 8, 7 on the second string. Okay? Then from there, I want to play 9 of the third string, 8, 7 on the second, and then 9 of the third string again. So all together. There's a few more notes at the end of that chunk, and then we'll work on the second half. I want to play 7 of the second string, and then play 9, 7, 6 on the third. So we go all together. Hopefully that's all making sense. Let's have a look at the next chunk, and then we'll put it all together slowly. I want to do 2 pull-offs from 10 to 7 on the first string. And I'm going to quickly jump to 10 of the second string, and then do another pull-off from 10 to 7 on the first. And the way that I do that, I do a sort of a small economy pick or sweep. So I've got a flat ring there, and then pulling that off. So I've got the 2 pull-offs, and then the mini sweep into the pull-off. Okay, so the next bit is really cool. It's just the same thing twice. I'm just jumping up some strings. So I'm playing 10 of the second, 7 of the first, and then I'm going to roll down, sort of a Dorian-y sounding pentatonic. I'm going to play 10, 9, 7 as a pull-off on the second string. So we've got... Then I jump to the third string and do the same thing. 10 of the third, 7 of the second, and then I'm rolling down 10, 9, 7 as a pull-off again. So I'll play those 2 ideas back to back. Pretty much identical. So let's go from that double pull-off idea with the sweep, and then those 2 little ideas. At the end of that, I want to play 9 of the fourth, and then 9 of the third. Okay, at the end of that, I work into this. So what I've got there is I'm playing 10 of the first string and 13 of the second. We're doing a dual bend idea. So I'm bending up the 13, bring that over 2 frets to 12 and 15. And then I've just got a single note bend on 15 of the first string. And that's the whole thing. So let's take it from those little hammer-on arpeggios at the start. We'll work all the way through to those bends at the end. One more time with some tabs. Alright, let's have a look at the 6th section. This is just working through that sort of harmonized, cheeky little lick. I'm going to just play the one that I found the most prominent. There is obviously a harmony that goes with it. I want to start from 5 of the 5th string, and then I'm going to play 7, and then jump to 4 of the 4th. Okay? At the end of that, I'm going to play 5, 4 of that string, and then play 7, 4 on the 5th. So all together. Okay, then I want to go back to 5 on the 5th string, and then I'm going to play pretty much exactly the same thing again, but instead of going back to the 4th fret, I'm going to slide from 7 to 9. So let's have a look at those 2 chunks back to back. Okay, then we work into the next group. I'll start from 7 of the 4th string, and then I want to play 5, 7, 9 on the 4th, and then I've got to hammer it into a pull off here. So I'm playing 5, 7, playing 7, 9, 7, just a hammer on into a pull off. Okay, from there I want to play 5 of the 4th, and then jump to 7 of the 5th. Sort of go. So we've sort of got 3 chunks now. Let's play them all together. Now the newest group's going to start from 4 of the 4th string. Then I want to jump to 7 of the 5th. And then I'm going to play 4, 5, 4 on the 4th again. And then I'm going to resolve that by playing 7, 4. So the last bit went. And that's pretty much the whole idea. So all we want to do now with those 4 little chunks is play exactly the same thing twice. So as soon as I finish that last group, I'm back at the start. And so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that whole lick twice, and then we'll do it again slowly with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, section 7, nearly there, guys. I want to start by playing 10 of the 2nd string and 9 of the 3rd as a bend, and I'm going to do that idea twice. I'm going to bring it down, and then play 7 of the 3rd string, and then bend 10 of the 2nd string. After I've done that, I'm going to work into this phrase. It's a very quick phrase. I'm going to do a pull off from 10 to 7, and then hammer back to 10 on the 2nd string, and then play 10 of the 1st string. Okay, after that I work into this phrase. Alright, so what I've got here is a quick pull off from 10 to 7 of the 1st string now, regular 10 on the 2nd string, and then I hit it again for a bend. At the end of that, I'm going to do a hammer on from 7 to 10 back to 7, just hammer into a pull off. Then I do a bend up and back from 9 of the 3rd string, pull off to 7, and then I resolve that to 9. So we got, at the end of that, I'm going to add a cheeky 7 there. So let's have a look at what we've got thus far before we move on. Okay, then I work through the next chunk in sort of tremmy groups of 4. So working through, I think it's semiquavers. Or 16ths rather. So what I want to do is I'm going to play 4 notes on 6, 7, 9, and 11 on the 3rd string. So 4 notes on each of those. Now the next chunk, what am I doing there? I'm playing 10, 12, 14, 15 on the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of those, and then I go. So what I've got here is a bend on 17 of the 2nd string. And I do a hammer on into a pull off going 15, 17, 15, and then slide that back to 14. Keep it slow and emotional, and then to finish off the section, I'm just going to play 14, 15 on the 2nd string. That's pretty much all of the 7th section. Let's try it again at a gentlemanly pace, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time, some tabs. last section, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. And yes, I did shave my mustache halfway through recording this. All right, so we're going to go 14, 15, 17 on the first string, then back to 15. And then after that, I've got a little trill playing 14, 15, 14 on the first string. Then I jump to 17 of the second string. Then after that, I want to jump back down to 14 of the first. I'm going to resolve that from 17 to the second. So altogether thus far, we should have this. Okay, at the end of that, I'm going to play 15, 14 twice on the second string. And at the end of that, I'm going to play 16 of the third string 3 times. So go to all together. Now the next chunk we work through is probably one of the hardest bits of the whole solo, so be patient with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slight bend on 14 of the third string, and I'm going to work into some sort of more exotic scales. I'm going to do a lot of legato here. I'm going to play 11, 12, 11 on the second string. And then I want to play 14, 12, 11, 12, 11 all in one pick. So all together. Okay. From there, what I'm doing here is I'm doing 12, 11 as a pull off and then sliding to 9. Then I hammer to 11, pull off to 9 and slide to 7. So back to back that'll go. I'm going to do it again now. A similar idea, hammer to 9, pull off to 7 and then slide to 6. So it'll go. I want to pick it again though, just make sure I don't lose too much momentum. I'm going to pull off from 7 to 6 on the third. And then resolve that to 9 of the fourth. So altogether of that most recent chunk. Okay, let's work through the next chunk and then we can put it all together and do it again, even slow with some tabs. So at the end of this, I want to go. What I'm doing here is I'm playing 9, 7, 9 on the fourth string. Then I play 7 of the third and slide from 9 to 11 on the third string. Okay, then I've got. So what I've got here is a hammer on from 10 to 12 on the second string. And then I'm going to play 9, 10, 12 on the first. So we've got... So from the start of that group... Okay, at the end of that... I'm going to play 10, and then a hammer on into a pull-off 9, 10, 9 on the first string. I play 12 of the second string. And then I want to play 3 9s at the end of that. So let's try it one more time from here a little bit slower. A bit of a derp in the middle, apologies. And then at the end of that, I do 2 bends from 12 of the first string. The important thing is at the end of the second one, we've got that sort of adventurous slide backwards. So that's pretty much all of that final section. So let's take it from the start. Legato now. One more time with some tabs. And that was the delightful, emotional, and epic solo from Powerslave. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all very soon.